I love that I pull up my pants like I'm wearing a skirt every time I do this.
I already feel like I'm gonna need water while I'm saying this because my voice is so weak. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. And also welcome back to Connie and Kaelan. Kaelan, alright. Yep. So last time you saw us, they were telling me about their biggest, worst experience with ghosts in their old house. Yes, I got goosebumps. Yes, there was a jump scare. Yes, the spider scared me, the mirrors scared me. I got goosebumps halfway throughout that. It was horrible, it was great. All my batteries drained, so I have to keep my camera plugged in. So I decided that I want to tell them my best ghost story. I've actually got a couple as well, but the biggest one I wanted to tell you guys today. So around the time that you guys were moving from your house to the new house, my mom was also going through a move from Owen Sound to where we are now in the country. And I was with her, we were looking at houses. It was like October, I think. It was like September or October, and we're looking at houses. And my mom was like, you know, I realize you won't be living with me because you're in university, but you'll be coming back for summer, and I want to get a place where you're comfortable or whatever. So I was with her. And we went to like 3 or 4 different places, and we went to one in Clifford, Ontario. And I honestly, like Clifford, like the big red dog. Yeah. But literally, okay, so I walked through the door. And when you walk through the door, you get like a very, actually kind of cottage-like feel. Like it was very, very 70s looking, very wood panel, very, very orange. Kind of like my house is now, to be quite real with you. And I walked in, and it just, as I walked in, I swear to God, I didn't even know that this is what it was called, but I got tunnel vision. Like suddenly, it was like, I couldn't see anything around me. It was just what was in front of me. And I just felt so closed in. And I looked at my mom, and she was going through a really stressful time, so I wanted to be supportive, and I gave her like a little smile, like, okay, let's go. So we walk in, and as I'm walking into the kitchen, where this beam is literally falling, and they've got like kind of like cupboard doors on it, like closet sliding doors. I don't know. Anyway, and they're pushed to the side. And as I'm walking through the door, I swear I can like visualize this entire doorway falling on me, and it was just like. I was scared. I remember kind of like walking behind everyone and kind of scooting my way through. Because of course you got the realtor up there going, this is great, you can change this, you can fix this, this is just a little bit of paint.
It's a fixer-upper.
Yeah. But he's just mentioning all like the superficial stuff, right?
Yeah, ignoring all the janky stuff.
Yeah, and so I'm just like walking through, just like looking around, like I'm just being the critic in the back of the room here. And we walk through this doorway, and then if you, like there's like a little kitchen space, you turn left. And then, like, you just walk into the staircase. And you have to go all the way around, obviously, to the front of the staircase. But when you're at this base of the staircase, where there's, like, a wall right in front of you, you look up, and there's a tile missing in the floor, in the ceiling. You could literally see the ceiling upstairs through the floor. So, I'm like, sorry.
Oh, my goodness.
I walk around the staircase, and I look up it. It's literally, like, there's steep staircases. It was like walking up a ladder. Yeah. Like the steps, you had to go up on your tippy toes.
Super narrow too, right?
Yeah. Yep. You had to go up like literally on your tippy
stairs,
toes.
Man.
Here's the stupid thing. This house, because it was so old, they didn't have storage. So what did? They built storage upstairs, right out into the staircase. So literally you get up to the top of the stairs, and there wasn't even boob space walking in there. And literally you scoot your way past, and then you like bend around the railing, and then there's a hole in the floor. Like, I don't even think I looked in any of the bedrooms. I think I saw the hole in the floor, and my anxiety...
My brain went, nope.
I was like, I'm so scared of heights, I'm going to step on the wrong spot and end up being the next tile down. Like, I'm going to be the next one through. So I'm like, I'm going to go back downstairs. You guys can look at... I'm like, Mom, just be careful. She's like, okay, fine, whatever. Like, I go down, I meet them at the bottom. Going down the stairs the entire time, I felt my knees shaking, and I'm like, this is just... like, I was getting lightheaded, and I thought it was just, like, my anxiety piling up. So then they're like, you haven't even seen, like, the coolest part. I'm like, oh no. They're like, we're gonna go to the basement.
No.
I'm like, okay. Here's what I don't understand. Why did he call it the coolest part when it's only a 4-foot crawl space?
Because it's the coldest part.
So they open this door, right? And it's like one of those doors that has like a little like latch, and you have to pull it.
Yes.
And I'm like, great. So you go in there and that closes behind you. You're not coming out on your own. So I literally, kinda. So like he lifts the latch, he pulls it, and he pulls the door open, and I'm like, cool. And my mom's like, okay, let's go see what they've got in there. Because I guess that they've actually had a piece of it dug out. Like, it was like it was like a 6-foot box that they'd actually dug down. It was just so that you could store like a freezer or something in there. So they're like, we're gonna show you that. I'm like, are you? Cool.
Yeah, I'm not.
You think you are?
I'm like the biggest nerd. I'm claustrophobic. I'm scared of I'm not scared of dust. I'm claustrophobic. I'm allergic to dust.
I'm allergic to dust.
I am scared of dust.
I don't like heights. I don't like small spaces. As you walk, there's a ceiling above you. If you raise your head, you smoke your head. The air is so tight.
Oh, God.
It was just insane. And it's so full of dust. I looked at my mom and I'm like, I'm getting dizzy. I have to leave. She's like, okay, cool. Go. Shoot. So I leave. And I just go stand outside the door, and I literally just sit against the wall, and I'm like, it's just ridiculous. Like, what even is this? Like, why are we looking? This is a joke. What brought you here? Like, but then, like, everything started changing in my head. I just started suddenly realizing, like, because I was alone, and I just started realizing, like, I can't breathe. Like, my throat was, like, closing, my head was throbbing, and I'm like, I literally can't breathe. Yeah. And my mom comes up, and she's like, well, what do you think? Like, she's, like, so up spirits about it. I'm like, I mean, I'm ready to look at the yard. What about you? So, like, we literally, like, started going out of the house. And as we're walking out of the house, everything goes away. And I'm like, wow, my throat doesn't feel so, like, it was so bad. Like, from the minute I walked in, it just kept getting worse and worse. Like, I felt like I was being choked. I walk out of the house, we go look at the yard, and she's like, okay, well, is there anything you want to see inside? And I'm like, I'm set. Like, my mom's like, oh, okay, like, clearly you've had enough. And she's like, okay, well, let's go back home, we'll talk. I'm like, cool. So we go back and we talk. Like, she was going through every house we'd seen, and she's making, like, the pro-con list. So she's like, okay, so the house in Clifford, what did you think of that one? And I literally was like, please don't ever make me go back there. She's like, why? I'm like, I got such bad vibes from, and she's like, well, what do you mean? What didn't you like? Like, let's talk about what you didn't like. Is it something we can fix? I'm like, it was from the minute I walked in the door and my throat closed. She's like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah, like the minute I walked in the door, my throat just closed, and I swear I was just having trouble breathing. My head started aching. It just felt so tight in there. They'd have had most of their stuff already moved out. They just wanted to sell it at this point. Yeah. And I was like, no, it was not a good feeling. I was like, and then you like walk up the stairs and you just instantly feel like you're falling, like you're gonna fall through the floor. Like everywhere I went, I felt like something was gonna happen. And she's like, what else did you feel? And I said, honestly, it was just, I had like this very terrifying feeling of like being choked the entire time. And she goes, okay. She's like, I thought I wouldn't have to tell you, at least until we had a decision made. She said, the reason this man is selling this house is because he has throat cancer. And he wants to move up north where the air isn't so stuffy. And I was like, oh. So he's selling the house because of throat cancer, because his throat is literally closing because of the cancerous tumor he has. I hear that, and he's still alive. He actually apparently moved out of the house and moved up north, and he survived. He's apparently still doing well. And that house was actually condemned. And
which means something is mimicking, and I don't like that very much.
Honey, I'm sorry.
I've also had something following me since I was a child. I've realized that over the past, like, I haven't really had a conversation with my mom about it, but I've talked briefly with my sister about it. Mm-hmm. When I was, like, 3...
What does your sister say?
She kind of is the reason why I didn't realize that things had happened when I was younger. Mm. But when I was about 2 or 3, we used to share a room until I was about 5. And so, apparently one night, I got up in the middle of the night, and I was standing in front of the window. My sister said she woke up and saw me there and just kind of, went back to sleep. Wakes up a little while later, and I was still standing there. And she's like, go back to bed. Like, you go, like, she was probably, like, if I was 2 or 3, she would have been 4 or 5. Yeah. She goes, Michelle, go back to bed or I'm going to go with Mommy and Daddy. Yeah. And I looked at her, and apparently I just dropped every swear word in the book. I would have been 3. Like, yeah. And she said, I remember. Much? She's like, I remember you dropping every, like, she's like, words I didn't know. F-bombs. Just dropped it all. So then, I remember when I was about 8 or 9, I used to go biking with my sister and her friend because I was the tag-along. I had to, anywhere my sister went, I had to go, you know. And one time I was riding my bike, and something black flew out in front of me and flipped my bike. Yeah. My sister comes back because, you know, you've got the responsibility. She looks back and I'm not there. She has to go back and find me. I wasn't even crying. I was on the ground, on my back, trying to process what just came out in front of me. Right. And I told her, like, something just knocked my bike
frame,
off.
yeah.
And she's like, whatever, Michelle. No, it didn't. Not true, whatever.
Wow.
And she just kind of moves on. Then, I had this realization actually while you guys were telling your story. So when my mom moved out of my dad's house, she moved into this other house where it was like a duplex. And I never slept in my own room. From the time we moved there when I was 6 until the time we moved out when I was 11, 12, I slept in her bed. Because I never once slept in my own bed except for when I had friends over. And a lot of times when I had friends over, they would stay in my room and I would stay in my mom's room. Because I was too afraid to stay in that room, but I never knew why. I felt like I was being watched. Then when I moved, after my dad passed away, and we had moved to the other place in Owen Sound, it was just very shortly after my dad died, and there was like 3 nights in a row where something big happened. I was by myself because my mom was working out of town at that point, and so the first night,
Oh yeah, I remember this.
the door outside, I had it locked because I'm paranoid. I can't be alone. It's not. I just can't. And I was literally just watching TV. I wasn't even watching like something scary. I was literally watching like Family Feud, and literally something opened the door, slammed it shut, and then that was it. So I ran to the door, and it was locked. It was still locked, but it slammed. My dog was barking, like she heard it too, but it was locked.
Yeah.
And so I called my sister. I just literally look. I got goosebumps. I literally called my sister, and she came up because she was staying with her boyfriend at the time. She comes up and she looks everywhere. There's no footprints, nothing, nothing saying that someone was there. Fine, whatever. Second night, my mom had just gotten home, and I had like an automatic thing. That's why that thing's freaked me out since we got here.
Yeah,
the automatic
There's like
air
an air
freshener.
freshener, like those Glade air fresheners
Yeah.
that automatically
That like
spray.
every like 3 minutes or something.
Yeah.
So I had one of those in the corner next to my closet, and I swear it was just, I heard it go, and then nothing, and then like my cat, I had this little calico cat, her name was Sadie, she slept with me every single night, and this night, suddenly, there was just like a really loud like in the corner, and then my cat, I felt her entire body from the base of her tail get yanked out of my bed and pushed back up. She never slept with me again. She lived, that was when I was 19, and she lived until I was 23. Never again did she ever sleep in my room. And she had slept in my room every single night up until then. So then, that was the second night. The third night, my mom, again, she was home. My sister was at her boyfriend's. And
Sorry.
and so
I told you I don't fucks with ghosts.
and so I was literally in my bed. My window was much like yours. My bedroom window was
raised.
8 feet up.
Yeah.
Because the basement came up about
Split
2
level.
3
Yep.
feet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same
And
as ours.
something, not even just tapped, but bang, bang, bang on my window. And our entire yard was fenced in, plus there was bushes, like shrubbery around the fence. Like I've never been able to jump that. So what do? I wake up my mom, and she and I go out with a flashlight, and she looks, and it had just rained, so there was no footprints in or out. We also had a carport, so if they had come in, there would be wet footprints. There's no way you could get out. We didn't have any trees in the backyard. They were all on the other side of the fence. So there was no footprints under my window at all, and you would have had to at least jump in order to do that. So I was like, okay. She's like, just go back to...
just that big.
Yep, so she's like, just go back to bed. Nothing
You
happened.
never saw it,
It was
did
your
you?
it was your imagination.
That's kind of weird.
I literally went back to bed, and not a minute after I laid down, bang, bang, bang. I didn't even bother going to my mom. I called my sister, and she and her boyfriend were up in less than 20 minutes. And they checked everything, no footprints, nothing. And then the situation where you at my house.
Yeah.
And also, I was telling Kaelan, at one point, I was able to play my guitar like nothing. Now it's like, I'll be playing, and I'll mess up, and I'll be embarrassed. Like, I'll literally be in the house alone, and I'll be playing, and I'll, like, put my finger in the wrong spot or something, and I'll be embarrassed, and I'll stop playing and put it away.
Don't give up your music because
No.
no, I know what you're saying,
Yeah.
but it becomes one of those don't let them win.
Well, and then I've got Maya, and yes, she's an anxious mess, but she barks
Well,
at
no
nothing.
wonder.
She barks at walls. She barks at corners.
It's not barking at nothing, honey.
No, and then like
She's not dogs.
Kaelan-
Animals are brilliant.
Upstairs in your house,
Not a good spot.
I don't like. I go upstairs
my
into
sage?
the room that I sleep in. I leave for 20 seconds to go to the bathroom, and I literally cross to the bathroom and close the door.
Is when
and the same thing
when
back
I look
through.
back, I don't remember ever not being afraid of going to bed. Like, my entire life. If there wasn't somebody there, I, like, even now, and I realize, like, as soon as my mom turns out the light, I'm like, I'll go to bed too.
Yeah.
So, like, I essentially
You never stay downstairs alone. Like,
I
whoever,
essentially,
like,
yeah.
if it's you and me downstairs after your mom's going to bed,
As
that's
soon
one
as
thing.
you say you're
But as
going to
soon
bed,
as I say I'm going to bed,
I'm like,
you go.
everything
And as
goes
soon
off.
as you say you're going to bed, I go with you too, because I don't want to be walking up there alone, trying to find. I don't.
Yeah,
like,
it's taken me a lot of
I will
time.
get you some of my sage, and I will put it with your laptop.
Okay. It's taken me a long time to realize that I think that something's following me. I don't think it's just like little experiences. I think that something's actually been with me all my life.
Tell it to go.
I hope it's little experiences.
Because it just doesn't make sense. Like, if it was with me that when I was so young that I was cursing at people, like when I was so young. I don't know. It was just something that I've kind of been thinking about recently. I haven't really told my sister that I think it's been following me, but it's also one of
really?
those. Yeah. Well, she
Oh,
wouldn't
no.
want to hear it, to be honest.
Well, she's gonna hear it
She's
now.
gonna hear
Here's
it
the
now.
thing. Whatever it
By the way,
is,
She's
whatever it is,
the voice of reason. She always tries to explain what
Yeah.
else it could be.
I don't feel necessarily intimidated by it. Just
No,
nervous.
I don't either. I just
like
feel
it's not like something that's gonna hurt you, but it's just like I don't like
Judgy.
this.
It just feels
It's
like there's
judgy.
something there. It just like
Not
you're
even that.
alone.
Just like it's just
It's just
unnerving. It's
it's
very unnerving.
It's not fun just having that feeling like you're never alone. Like
Yeah.
I honestly sometimes, and this is even another thing. Normal people, you go up to your room, you get changed. I find that even when I'm in my room, I'm constantly getting changed, like someone's watching me. Like, you know how you're a little bit nervous changing in like a dressing room at a store? You're like, what if there's a camera somewhere? Like, and you feel a little awkward. What if that door isn't actually locked?
Yeah.
But like,
what if someone busts in?
literally, I get that. I feel that in my room,
Yeah.
in my bedroom when my door's closed, my kid's in bed. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Need
not
to
even
fix
like
that.
it's not even like oh, I should put a towel over my dog crate so she doesn't see
Yeah.
it. It's literally just like I'll like take off my shirt and be like,
What's happening? Yeah.
I just feel like there's always eyes on me.
Yep.
So, that's. But like I've never felt like that thing's gonna hurt me. Like, and we've also had issues
No.
with like the lights in my
Yeah.
house.
God. Yeah.
So,
but to be fair, like, so yes, but your house is in fact old.
It was
so
built
like
in the
it could be
1890s.
sketchy wiring, but like sometimes we'll say
no.
we'll say things very specifically about the lights, and we're like, oh, we'll be flicking the lights, and it'll be like, oh, the light doesn't work, and then the light pops on, and it's like,
Yeah. yeah.
no,
Like,
no.
the one time, okay, I'm gonna be really honest, I was having a really hard time. It was like, my dad had passed away, and I went to the cemetery. It was the first time in like 3 years that like I'd actually like gone to there and just by myself. I'd never gone there by myself. It was my first time ever going there by myself. It was like 3 years after he passed away, and I went in, and everyone had always been telling me stories. Like, I was thinking about your dad, and the sticks came on. I was thinking about your dad, and like a bottle fell off a shelf, and I was at the cemetery leaving, and I said, like, feel free to give me a sign. Feel free to come back and give me a sign that you're with me. That night, I literally go home, and I had just put my kid to bed, and like all the lights were off. I go back downstairs, and I was like playing with my computer. My mom was watching TV, and we decided it's time to go to bed. So we go upstairs, and I flick the light. Nothing happens. I'm like, nothing happens. I'm like, okay, fine, use my flashlight. And I was talking to my mom, like, she's right behind me, and I'm like, didn't you, like, just change this bulb? She's like, yeah, I don't know why it's blown. I literally changed it, like, 3 days ago. I'm like, well, okay, well, I guess it was just a cheap bulb. Maybe buy a different brand next time. I don't know. We go up to the top of the stairs, and I'm brushing my teeth, and she's, like, sitting there, like, I just don't understand. Like, she flicks the light upstairs, and she's like, I don't understand why it's blown. Like, it's brand new. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just brushing my teeth, and I start realizing, like, and I look at my mom, like, I did actually go to the cemetery today, and I did kind of ask Dad to give me a sign that he was with me. She's like, Michelle, look, ghosts might be real, but I don't think you brought one home with you. Like, stop talking like this, stop thinking like this. She legit steps out in the hallway, and the light goes on. And she's like, okay. And she literally, like, we both kind of got, like, chills. She walks back to the bathroom and was like, you might be right. We both just look at each other, we both just take a breath, and then she goes out, turns off the light, goes into her room, and she never mentioned it again.
Yeah.
never brought it up like it ever happened again.
Wow.
Well, you'll have reason to talk about it now.
Yeah.
She doesn't watch my videos.
No.
She should.
She doesn't have the internet. She doesn't know anything about computers. Yeah.
I love how when I do this, I get like really
She cannot,
like intimidation
'cause I will find
face. Because
Huh?
the light is only
I said
shining on the
she-
top half of my face.
She can't say anything about me because I will find her.
And you watch mine too, so
Oh,
I
I
can't say
watch
anything
hers.
about you either.
Yeah. I already,
Did anyone else just hear that?
Yeah.
You heard
I've
that?
been ignoring
Like a
all
child?
the noises. No, it's not a child, but I've been ignoring the noises.
I literally swear I just heard Cole bang on the door though.
Oh no.
I'm hearing things. It's fine. It's totally fine. And
It's
so
now
we are gonna end this.
11:11.
It's like becoming a handshake. I was like, we're gonna end this.
All in this together.
Yeah.
I don't know that
Anyways,
song.
that was like two of the little stories that I have. Those were a couple of the stories now that you guys had. If you guys want to hear more, let me know because they'll be going to a new apartment and we hopefully won't be afraid to talk about it because now I'm kind of sketched out because things are making noises now and they're not
Oh,
supposed to
no.
make
This
noises.
is a
It's
really
okay.
old cottage on bad foundation, so it's probably just.
I'm not sure
moving.
there is a foundation, but
Yeah.
Well, by
Dirt.
foundation I mean dirt.
On
so
really-
some
Dirt.
dirt.
Anyways,
It's a goofy face. Anyways,
thank you again for joining me in this video, you guys.
thank you. Love you.
now we're all in this together. Stuck in my head. I'm sorry.
Just yeah. Like,
High School Musical is the grace of our generation, and from the
I watched.
movie.
I watched. What was that show?
singing show.
The show you watched all the time, and then I got hooked on it, and then you went away from it.
Glee?
Oh, I'd never seen Glee.
I thought you were talking about Little Shop of Horrors. And I'm
Oh,
like,
I like that show.
Little shop of
You were in that, right?
Little shop of terror.
wasn't that? Anyway.
Thank you guys for watching, and I
See
hope you
ya.
enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want to see more of Kaelan and Connie, let us know in the comments. And yeah, have a good night, and we will see you guys next week. Bye!